So I'm really glad that we are talking about education, because education also plays an important role when you talk about environment, nature, and so much more about it. And we are glad that we have Mr. Pradip Burman, Chairman Mobius Foundation, and he is going to talk about why India needs sustainability in education. This is the need of the hour, because we know that tomorrow, apart from us, our generation next are going to be ready. So we need to see to it that education plays a key role. So over to you, sir. But before that, I would want to also tell that we also have our very favorite and our very own Dr. Anurag Batra joining us. He is the Chairman, Editor-in-Chief, BW Business World and Exchange for Media Group. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Aditi. Mr. Burman, good afternoon and welcome to this BW Sustainability Dialogue. We're grateful that you could make time and join us at a very short notice. I noticed that you just concluded a 2-day event on sustainability education.
Not yet concluded. It's still going on, and I will have to join at about 5 o'clock to conclude that.
Right. So I just want to know what is your dream for sustainability education? How did this idea come to you, and how did you nurture it, and where are we with it?
So let me start. My first interest in sustainability came about by reading the book The Limits to Growth. The Limits to Growth was a thing of the Club of Rome. I don't know whether you've heard of the Club of Rome, but that was in 1960. And I was in the United States at that time, from 61 to 65. Now the limits to growth, it means that they projected 100 years from now, professors from MIT, Nobel laureates, literature, philosophers, etc., 100 people got together and they wanted to project the future of humankind. And they projected this, in which then they projected and said the first thing that will affect us will be pollution. And pollution of the air is the first thing that is going to affect the human race. And that should be looked at. Besides, they looked at oil, they looked at non-renewable resources, and they looked at a whole lot of things where humankind is heading. So that was my first exposure to sustainability. And I felt it was the most important thing that humankind could at this time really look at. Because if our future generations are to blame us, that look, you left in us a world which is worse than where you found it, then who's to blame? Naturally, we are to blame and we don't want to take the blame.
Fantastic. So you know, the journey started in the 60s and you were so right. You know, the environmental pollution, the pollution in air has really cost us lives. It has cost us health and it has cost us productivity. So good air, good health leads to better GDP, right?
The other book I read was the Small is Beautiful by Schumacher. And that also affected me. Besides, the third book I read was, of course, Mahatma Gandhi's Experiments with Truth. And these three books were the guiding principle of sustainability for future generations.
Fantastic. Now, coming back to your dream of the university, you know, the question I'd like to ask is India ready for a sustainability university, or is India too late?
Anurag, I think you're slightly mistaken there. I'm starting an environment school, which will be called the World Environment School. It's not a university as yet, but in future, I do want to build up a university which will be focused on what I call not sustainability, but planetary studies.
Sure.
But I would like to talk about the school, which I intend to do. Now, you know, everybody knows, it's been talked about, that the consumption of water, food, energy, and all is going at such a state that even at today's rate, if everyone was to get that, we would need 5 planets like this to meet those needs. So obviously, we cannot sustain this rate of consumption and energy that we have and at the rate that we're going. Secondly, the oil which we are using is going to be finished. Ultimately, the coal that we're using is causing a lot of pollution. So how do we go about doing this? I think there are two areas where Mobius Foundation is focusing on. The one area is population stabilization, and the other area is education, because I think these two are the key areas which will help the whole planet become sustainable. These are the two areas which the Mobius Foundation wants to concentrate on. And we want to build up first in a 100-acre site what is known as the World Environment School. The World Environment School will be different from other schools. It will have naturally your IB or your CBSE or graduation. But together with that, we are developing a special curriculum which is focused entirely on sustainability. Entirely on sustainability. And we have a body called CEE, the Center for Environment Education, which is headed by Mr. Karthik Sarabhai, who is making that curriculum right from class 6 to class 10, and then 11 and 12 will be done later on. But this is what we plan to do. Now, what is it different about this? Because this will be treated as a separate subject over there, and it will have to do with experiential learning. That means by doing is how the students will be able to pick up ideas on sustainability. So we have a lot of things in that we will have solar energy, we will have waste management, we will have fertilizer production from waste, and we will also have biodiversity in what is called Devkad. Devkad is the forest. Devkad is the forest of the gods, where you will have a different variety of trees, as well as the local produce, as well as medicinal plants, which are useful for that region. As you know, the Western Ghats are already a sensitive area, and a lot has been written about it. But we are right in that center, and that is the reason we want to go there to create a center which will be exclusively for what we call the World Environment School.
Fantastic. So it's the World Environment School. I've been calling it a university, but the fact is it's about preparing leaders and practitioners who are more sensitive to the environment, and hopefully go and build and practice what they learn in the school. I just want to ask you two questions, and I'll take one or two audience questions and wrap up by the time I agreed with you. One is, rather than starting a school, wouldn't it be better to go to existing school, colleges, and kind of put a module there? So maybe I've been saying for 5 years that in every business school, sustainability education should be a compulsory, because business leaders start evangelizing it, practicing in schools. Whether it's schools in Delhi, Bombay, my kids go to Vasant Valley, maybe in a Vasant Valley school, wherever. Sustainability education, environmental sensitivity should start right at the entry level in education. Wouldn't that be better rather than doing a standalone educational system?
That you're correct in saying that, but it doesn't meet the needs or the ideals or the vision that I have or the ideals that I have. I want everything to be sustainable within that school. Now, you know that there are green schools. The green schools also done by TEDI, also done by the Climate Reality Project, also by the Indian Building Code. They have the Green Building Code. All these schools, they're giving certificate to make green school. The CSE also has what is called a green school project, in which they've laid down several criteria of why it should be called a green school. And this is all inspired by the Bali's green school, which is the epitome of all green schools. But we can't have that here, because we don't have the Bali climate, nor do we have the Bali vegetation. Now we have the thing to do it that way. If you go to Bali, the green school in Bali, that tell you exactly everything is recyclable, and everything is done according to green norms. That is my inspiration to put up a school. And I don't think I can do it in any existing school. I can improve that school, but I cannot do it the way that I desire to do it.
Fantastic. And you know, you were also the chairman of Dabur Nepal, right? You were also the chairman of Dabur. Now I know you're setting up this school in India. Why not take the lap of Himalayas for this school? Tell us about the place you selected for the school. Why that place? What's the story behind that? I believe you're looking to invest about $35 million, almost 200 crores to build this school. So tell us why this place, what's the story on the location?
No, I looked around for a location. I had a plantation in Kurg, and I thought that was the pristine location where all things regarding sustainability could be taught along with the nature over there. And it being part of the Western Ghats, it would be the ideal place where all things about sustainability could be taught, and it would be experiential in that people could go and experience right next door as to what is to be considered sustainable as far as wildlife is concerned, as far as trees are concerned, as far as vegetation is concerned, etc. So it was an ideal place, and I have found an ideal place to show all this. With everything will be recycled, and everything we'll have energy, we will have waste management, we will produce fertilizer from waste, and nothing will be wasted over there. Plus, we will also do water harvesting. We will create energy from water also. And all these things will be showcased for the students to see that how things are done.
Thank you for taking us through that story. My last question is, you already alluded to it in the way you answered the last three questions. Is in a world environment school, everything should be experiential. It should be practical. Of course, yes, theory has a role and fundamentals and basics have a role to play. So will your school be very experiential, very, you know, doing oriented, doing and learning oriented?
Yes, doing things, like I said, that we are going to do everything experiential. That means we will have gobar gas for cooking. We will produce fertilizer out of gobar. We will also do entire waste management. We will also do water, and water will be completely sustainable. We won't have to get water from anywhere. All the water will be treated so that there's zero waste school that we make it there.
Fantastic. I wish more corporate leaders, business leaders come forward and embrace sustainability in a deep, integrated, strategic manner. Once that happens, I'm sure we will be able to achieve our goals as per the SDGs set by UN and build our own model of an environment-friendly society and environment-friendly business enterprise. And hopefully your initiative, Mr. Burman, of setting up this World Environment School will go a long way in preparing leaders and students and sensitive human beings who will have environment and the betterment of environment weaved in every action they take, in every, you know, activity they take. So we wish you luck in your endeavor. And we at BW Sustainability World and at BW Business there for you to be able to be a catalyst in your mission of preparing these future ready environment leaders, if I may say. We wish you luck. And I would just like to say that if we were to talk to you 3 years from now, where would the World Environment School be? What's your vision in 3 years? What are you likely to achieve?
Do you think the world will survive that long?
So God give you a long life. I'm sure you will.
I'm being a little pessimistic on that, but the way that we are going, if you see the cyclones which are coming, the cyclones are coming entirely due to the climate change happening due to global warming. These are coming due to that. Now we are talking about the sea rising. When the sea level rises, then the Calcutta will be underground, under the sea. So all these things are happening right before your eyes, but we are not able to really grab hold of it because uh, everything is not knitted together. Everything must be knitted together to show one picture rather than part of the picture.
Right.
So now
You have to look at it holistically.
that's right. Everything, one must be connected to the other. And when all things are connected, then you can see the whole picture and where humankind is heading. I don't want to leave my grandchildren saying that, look, you left us in such a state, like you have Greta Thunberg, who's doing that, that look, please stop this. You are ruining our lives and not your own lives. That is what you're doing. But uh, but we are continuing like this. We should be stopping coal altogether, and we should be looking at clean energy altogether.
Thank you so much, Mr. Burman. We wish you luck, and I'm sure you'll be able to build on your vision and execute and prepare leaders that are more sensitive, more environment friendly, and hopefully the generations ahead will reap the benefits of what you are seeding now. Luckily, I've had the good pleasure of being in Kurg. It's beautiful. In Kurg is beautiful. You know, one doesn't feel like coming out of there. It is beautiful. So, you know, not only it'll be an educational experience for people who love nature, people who love trees, who love fresh air, who love an expanse of a large view, will find the surroundings to be more amenable for such learning and, you know, getting the knowledge required to give back to the environment. Thank you once again, Mr. Burman, for joining us.
There are two questions which I have not answered, which you had asked.
Sure, go ahead.
One, should business schools make it compulsory in their curriculum for sustainability education? I say yes, we should make it compulsory for sustainability education, because the world would not survive, the planet will not survive if you don't make it compulsory of this. And these are the people that will make a difference to thinking, to acting, and to business practices. They will also make it. So it's really necessary that we should do that.
Thank you so much. And we really appreciate your taking out time at such a short notice and really coming into this very meaningful conversation. We wish you luck, and we'll engage more with you. And I'm sure we'll talk to you in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. So God bless you.
You made it easy for me. So I want to thank you for making it easy for me, because you asked in a question and answer format. So that made it quite easy for me to do it. I didn't have any slides, being locked out for 2.5 months. So I couldn't make any presentation to you.
Mr. Burman, they say PowerPoint slides, PowerPoint presentations are made by people who are neither powerful nor have a point of view. Certainly not one of them. So I'm glad you didn't use a PowerPoint presentation. I think the idea was to get you in and get your perspective. Since it's a dream and vision for you, I think when you speak, you can see that, you know, it's something that has been in your mind for a long time. And now that you're executing it, you're very excited. So I don't think you need a PowerPoint presentation. And maybe another time we'll get you in for a more detailed session and the impact that you plan to make with your World Environment School. We thank you once again. We wish you luck, and we look forward to engaging with you another time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much, Anurag, for all this, having me say something about the environment. I hope it's going to make a difference.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.